Hey guys, stick around if you want to see what the 2014 egg hunt was like and all the eggs and all the items during that time. What's up guys and welcome back to DeeterPlays. So the 2014 egg hunt was pretty iconic, a lot of people remember it, and it did kind of set some groundwork for a lot of the egg hunts that occurred after it. So this one was, there's a lot more terrain in it, and it actually had a storyline. So the storyline had it revolved around a good and evil sort of storyline. So it was told that Lucky Lappin is a rabbit who likes to collect a bunch of rare and fabulous eggs, and he was suddenly kidnapped by Rabid Rabbit, who is his evil counterpart from an alternate Eggverse. You may also recognize that Rabid Rabbit, there's been more of those later on, but this was where that whole storyline came from, and a lot of people who were in Roblox, who have been in Roblox for a really long time, know, like when all these references come up, that this is what it was from. Anyways, Rabid Rabbit tried to steal all of the eggs and escape to his own Eggverse. But when he was trying to go through the teleporter, apparently the teleporter malfunctioned and scattered these eggs across the Eggverse. So the goal is for the player to find all of these eggs, defeat the Rabid Rabbit, and save the Eggverse. So this map was totally different. It was mostly terrain, and it was the first year that it was mostly terrain, and it was also the first year that they did these teleporters. It was basically one map through 5 different time periods. There is the Neolithic, sort of prehistoric time period, a medieval time period, a present time period, then there was also an uncertain future time period and a forsaken future time period. So looking at all of those and then going through the different teleporters to go to different areas, we've seen that in so many egg hunts that followed, and I really like that sort of layout and the way they've done that. Apparently it came to some criticism at the time. People thought it was just not, it was too complicated, it wasn't as simple as the previous years, and some people thought that some of the meshes looked bad. And also during 2014 they had to keep closing and opening the 2014 egg hunt because there was all these bugs. Apparently there was bugs, there was eggs that were not spawning, there's eggs that were spawning like under the map or under the terrain, so they had to keep closing it and opening it and closing it and opening it, and they did that several times during that egg hunt, so it was a little bit frustrating for some people, but I think people are looking back on it and appreciating it more at this point than they did during the egg hunt. Anyhow, during the egg hunt there was 34 eggs that you could get, so let's take a look at what those eggs were. This first one here is the basic egg. The basic egg, it was, first of all, look at the colors and the way these eggs look. If you look at any of the previous videos, I've made videos for all of the previous egg hunts and revisited those, and we're starting to see that the eggs are getting more and more complex looking, and they're looking really cool. But this basic egg, it just spawns everywhere in the map. It just spawns all over, and it's a really, really easy one to get. So you gotta always have kind of the easy one. This one, the Egg of Luck. So this one spawns in every map. When we're saying every map, we're talking about, you know, the 5 different time periods for this one. So it only spawns in quantities of 1 and does not spawn as long as a player is holding it. So you have to drop it in water to cause another egg to spawn in its place, and dropping it on the ground will result in an explosion. So it spawned minions and would disappear. So minions, were they leprechauns? I wonder. Were they leprechauns? This next one here is the Egg of Time, and this one was found by the cave by the entrance to the Egg of Friendship in CS1. So CS1 is the first map, that is the prehistoric map. So we call them CS1 through 5 for the different ones. We'll just talk about them as the prehistoric, the medieval, you know, the forsaken future, the uncertain future, all of those. So that was the Egg of Time. Next egg that we had here, Egg of Life. So these eggs were hidden in red trees. So you had to touch the trunks of the trees and it will cause all the eggs to fall out. So you sort of had to shake them out of the tree in order to get those ones. So this one right here is the Egg of Friendship. So you have to have 2 players go to the mountain in the opposite corner of the mountains that you spawn on. And then the 2 players have to stand on the gray plates, then drop into the platform in the hole. And then it can be found in the first map, the prehistoric one. So 2 people sort of had to work together on this one, and there's a little patch of water and you can swim through it to climb to get the egg. You know, there's some secrets and some tips on getting that one, but you had to have 2 people work together. Of course, Egg of Friendship. I'm not sure how easy that one was to get. As you can see, most of these you can't buy them. There's going to be a couple of them that are limited. I think just 2 of them from this year actually went limited. So, alright, this one is the Egg of Space. So there's a secret entrance in the lake near the village in the second map, so that's the medieval map, and it's in the upper left area of the cave in the lake. There is this one that you can find, so you have to kind of find it after going to the secret entrance. This next one over here is the bell egg. So the bell egg was found hanging out as a bell in the church within the village of the medieval map, so you had to find it in that one. This next one over here is the poached egg. I don't know about you guys, some people really have a hard time properly poaching an egg, and ever. It's not true eggs Benedict if it's not truly poached. Anyways, this one was found in the sand patches around the village in the medieval map, and it could be cracked open by hitting it with a mace or stepping on it. So you had to like crack this one open, I guess, or not, I don't know. This next one over here is another one of these. Some of these look pretty similar. As you can see, these eggs with the hats, the friendship, the partnership. This one over here is the egg of partnership. And so there are 3 little plates, little doors, and one's on the overworld near the lake, one's in a secret cave in the lake, and the last one is a cave within the river. So you had to get people to work together to get those, and then they could get this egg as well. This next one over here, I think it's pretty cool looking, actually, and this is one of the 2 that's limited, and it's only 300 Robux. I might end up getting this one. I don't know. The Egg of Verticality, which is really cool. I really like the look of that one anyways. So this one can be found by jumping up and down on some mountains and buildings. So it can be found everywhere except for the first map. So you had to go to at least like the 2nd through the 5th maps, and then you get it from jumping up and down over there in certain places, apparently. Alright, this one, Egg of Cooperation. I'm not sure why this one looks so much smaller than the other ones. So in a cave under the biggest building, in the 3rd map, the present times, so 4 players have to find 4 red computers with coordinates on them. So once they found it, the 4 players have to go down to the ground floor and stand on the corresponding coordinates. So you had to get 4 people to actually work together on this one. So there's one with 2 people, one with 3 people working together, and this is one that required 4 people to work together to actually get it to work. This one is the malicious egg. So malicious or nutritious? I don't know. I think it's malicious. I would not eat that. It does not look nutritious at all. So this one can be found on anywhere on the 3rd, 4th, and 5th maps, but they disguise as other eggs. So it's disguised as another egg, and then you'll pop it up. So, and it also spawns little minions, so you have to have your weapon, your little mace, ready to go. So this next egg over here, let's take a look at this one, is the mercurial egg. So I think Mercury is like the god of something, I don't know. This one can be found on the roofs of the buildings. So it was difficult to get because the ability to switch directions in any given moment. So it could just switch around, and it was on the top of buildings, so it's difficult locations, and then it would kind of move around on you too. So this one apparently was a little bit trickier than the other ones. This one, Egg of Frost, was found in places where there's water on ice patches. So you just got to jump towards the egg so you don't slide. So you can kind of slide around. It's close to where the ice patches were, and you had to get it. It was a little slippery trying to get one. This one, the lure egg, looks like the angler fish over there. So this one can be found deep in the lake or under the waterfall. So this was basically a sort of a fish egg sort of thing. This one, the Egg of Flawless Deduction, I want to call it the Riddler egg, but whatever, you know. This one was found in little nooks and crannies around the fallen buildings in the Uncertain Future map. So it was the 4th map, and it was kind of hidden in different little areas in there. So this next one over here, Egg of Shield. So this was a this was in the ravine area of the Uncertain Future. So you may find an oddly shaped transparent thing and an egg of shield. So roll the oddly shaped transparent thing into the water, and then you get a force field around your player, and then you touch the egg of shield after you've done this, and then you were able to get it. So you kind of had to do this little thing with this invisible egg and roll it to a certain spot, and then you get a force field, and then you're able to touch this one, and you're able to get it. So next one, and moving on to the Egg of Flawless Teamwork. Okay. So you remember people working together in pairs of 2 and groups of 3 and 4. This one's just this one's even harder. So when you go into CS4, which is the Uncertain Future, the 4th map, so you got to go directly from the spawn to the town, and then you go forward until you get to the edge, and then there's 5 plates over there, and then you need 4 other people to open them. So after that, you have to basically get 5 people to work together to open these plates. Then they go down using the moving platform. The platform was a little tricky because it wouldn't move like with your character. You'd have to move along with it, so you wouldn't stay on it. You just had to kind of like walk along with it. And then the 5 people, including yourself, open the door and then go up to the egg to collect it. So this one's a little tricky for people to get, especially if you gotta get 5 people to go and get that one. So this next one over here, is this supposed to be Iggy Pop? It's Eggy Pop, but it's Iggy Pop the Eggy Pop. Looks more like Elvis to me, whatever. You can find this one in the cave under the fallen building. Then you have to say I love you when you're near it to get it. So you have to go and type I love you, and then Eggy Pop will be yours. Next up right here is the souvenir egg. This one was, pretty easy. It was found on the roofs of the buildings in the 4th map, the uncertain future. So not too hard. This one is called the Egg of Phoenix. I like the look of this one. So this one was by the top left corner of the spawn view besides the city. So there's an obby up there with lava around it and all that stuff. So the egg here was at the end of that little obby. After you complete the obby, then you gotta let this thing kill you, then you respawn near it, and then you collect it. So you kind of had to die and then rise up as the Phoenix, because the story of the Phoenix, you die and then you rise. Okay, so that was what you had to do for this one. These are pretty cool missions that they had in 2014. They definitely changed the game there on the egg hunt for sure. This next one, Egg of the Hill. So this one was in the car tunnel. The tunnel leads to a cave flooded with a bunch of minions, so you have to walk along the side to avoid all those minions and then run up a little slope to collect this one. So it may not spawn in every server too. I guess it wasn't one that would always spawn, so you were kind of lucky to be able to get that one. This one is the Alien Art Egg Fact. So this one was on the roof of one of the buildings in the very last one, the Forsaken Future, the 5th map. And there were several spinning platforms up there. So above the spinning platforms, the egg was up there, and then you had to jump up to collect it. And then the platforms, they would also break and fall to the ground. So it was you kind of had to get yourself moving in order to get this one working. This one, the Egggressor, looks like a bowl. This one spawned in the middle of the cave where you can get the Egg of the Hill. So you have to kill all of the minions at the spawn of the Egg of the Hill to get this one. Most servers, this egg was broken. So this was one of the reasons they had to kind of keep resetting. Alright, then of course this next egg, the Rabid Egg. This was the bad guy. This is Rabid Rabbit. So this might look familiar. We've seen several eggs, like even this year in the 2019 egg hunt. There was a Rabid Rabbit egg that you got, and it was kind of a pink one, and I think it was in the CSGO game. Anyway, so this one you had to go down to the mountain it spawned on, and then there should be a small village infested with minions. So you have to go towards the statue of the Rabid Rabbit, and there was a red portal. Then you touch the red portal, and you go to his egg lair, and you had to fight him and defeat him. And it was always recommended that you bring lots of health potions, which you could craft, putting a basic egg and egg of life together. So then you have to go and fight him with your mace and keep hitting him and take him out. Apparently he could have been a little bit tricky, but then you save the Eggverse by destroying this one, because this is the bad guy. This is like the main bad guy, and then he gives you an egg when you defeat him, kind of like the AMEG from 2018. So now we're going to take a look at these Faberge eggs. Of course, like they continue doing Faberge eggs for this one, which is cool. And these ones would just kind of spawn, but usually these would be eggs that would, not spawn as often. They're a little harder to find. So this one spawns on the 3rd map, the present times map. This one over here, the Aqua Faberge egg of Never Ending Winter, spawned on all of the maps. Okay, and then this next one over here, Elegant Faberge egg of Fancy Times. This is another one that's limited. I think it's this and just that other one is limited. So you can actually buy this one. It's right now selling for 358 Robux. So if you want a 2014 egg, this is the way to get it. That's the way to do it. And this one also spawned on all maps. This next one right here, Ruby Faberge egg of Sparkle Time. So it's the Sparkle Time egg. Very cool. This one spawned on the 4th and the 5th maps, the Uncertain Future and the Forsaken Future maps. This one, the Sapphire Faberge egg of Sparkle Time, another cool Sparkle Time map, only spawned on the Unforsaken Future map, the final map, the 5th one. And then let's see, the last but not least, the Black Iron Faberge egg. I kind of like that one. I think that one looks pretty cool. This one did spawn on every map except for the first one, the very first map, the prehistoric. But CS, like the maps 2 through 5, definitely spawned. Okay, and during that time, there was also this one, the Egg of Destiny. So if a player got a badge at the April Fool's version of the game, they would be awarded with this one. So they did a whole April Fool's thing, and if you got the badge, then you were able to get this one. I actually did something this year that was a little bit of an April Fool's thing. Of course, it wasn't official with Roblox, but Connor and I actually did that, and we did a little April Fool's thing in preparation for the egg hunt going on this year. This one right here, the Eggvertisement Egg 2. These ones are kind of like a little bit different, these last ones. So this one you got by clicking a special advertisement that led to the egg hunt, and if you were able to find... If people clicked on the advertisement and they were not logged in, they just get a 403 error. So you just had to click a certain advertisement. So kind of like the previous year, they had some outside of the game eggs that you were able to get, but not many this year. This one right here, the Egg of Extreme Aggravation, the TLDR egg. This one you were able to get by clicking a special message that led to the 2014 egg hunt as well. So there's a message that you click on to get that other than an advertisement. So these ones were pretty easy to get. Alright, and during the time there was a couple of items that people were able to purchase with Robux that helped them out. This one was the egg ray. It was 75 Robux. This thing would inform the players which eggs were in the server that they were in. So that was pretty helpful, and they could kind of go for what they needed. This one was the egg cannon of 2014. It was 150 Robux, and it would shoot fake eggs to confuse other players, except 5% of the times it was actually real eggs. So some people could get these eggs, and some people would actually get a real one. 5%, not very good chances, but not bad. You know, so some people were actually able to get some of the eggs through that. This one was 250 Robux. It is the Common Egg Compass of 2014. So this one guides the players in the general direction of one of the random common eggs that are located in the server. So it kind of helps people finding their eggs. This one, the Rare Egg Compass of 2014, also 250 Robux, and it would guide the player in the direction of one of 3 random eggs that are located in the player's server, and they would be some of the harder to find eggs that were not the Faberge eggs. Okay, this next one right here, the Rare Egg Cloner. This one was 500 Robux, and with the player use it, they could select one rare egg, and except for a Faberge egg, but they could select one of the eggs that was really rare, and when someone else in the server was awarded that rare egg, then it would clone it and create it for them, and then this person could get the egg. So similar, a lot of these are similar to what they did in the 2013 egg hunt. As far as the extra items, they didn't really do much of these here, you know, for the previous egg hunts. So I'm kind of interested why they didn't do that more, but this one, the Faberge Egg Cloner. Now this one was 1,000 Robux, and using this one, the player could obtain one of the 3 Faberge eggs. So it would transpire when another player in the server found and won one of the Faberge eggs. This one would basically act like the cloner, and they would receive the egg as well. So this next one, the Egg Light right here, this one was made for tunnels and caves, so even though it was dark, you couldn't see through it, but it was really useful in finding a lot of these eggs that were in dark areas. Alright guys, that was it for the 2014 egg hunt. Sounds like it was a really fun time, except for all the closings and the openings of the game. Sounds like that part was kind of frustrating, but the whole storyline, the traveling to different areas, and the one map and different timelines, and the way that some of these eggs were obtained actually seemed a lot cooler than, I would say, some of the previous ones. But I didn't play it at the time. I started playing in 2016. So if you guys are new here, I would love to have you subscribe and hit that notification bell for future videos and live streams. And thank you so much for watching. We'll talk to you guys later.